This is
back again at the Secret Lives art exhibition of Lucha Libre at the London School of Lucha Libre at the Lucha Britannia with one of the photographers, actually the main photographer of this art exhibition, if I'm corrected, right? Ibrahim?
100.
Kashmirwala.
It's like
Kashmirwala.
It's like in India, if you go and you're on the trains or you're traveling on the road and you ask, chaiwala, but it's actually Kashmirwala. So
Ibrahim Kashmirwala,
the one from Kashmir.
And you are Indian, right?
I'm half Pakistani, half Mexican.
Oh, there we go. I knew you had some Mexican roots in you. Okay, so you're half Pakistani, half Mexican, and you've spent time in Mexico.
So I was born in the UK, but the first time I actually saw lucha libre or wrestling
back home.
It was when I was visiting Mexico City for the first and last time. And funnily enough, that's not actually where my mom's from, Mexico City.
Okay.
But, yeah, it just so happens to be where it's all happening. So.
And do you ever go and visit Pakistan too?
I grew up there for a while. Like I spent about 4-5 years growing up there as a teenager. And just every now and again go back and visit. But our family's so scattered. We're literally nomads. We're all over the place. We've got family in the States and all over the place. So yeah. And
have you been a wrestling fan all your life?
I have. I was a diehard wrestling fan when I was a kid. So.
What are we talking here? Like Hogan?
We're talking Ultimate Warrior. we're talking British Bulldog.
Yes.
We're talking Legion of Doom. Shit, I got a couple of stories about that I could tell you about right now.
Okay, go ahead. What do you mean? What do you mean by story?
Right, okay, so my earliest memory my biggest memory of wrestling as a kid was 92 Wembley Stadium. I was there.
Bulldog Brett, you were there live?
I was there.
Oh my God, I hate you.
That was like one of the highlights of my childhood, being able to see those guys. And I think they even messed up the tickets on the day because we had really great tickets, but I don't know what happened in Wembley. But essentially, all the good tickets were put all the way at the back, and the cheaper tickets were in the front. So a lot of people got lucky that day. We were one of them, but it was still amazing.
That's a shame.
But yeah, so
okay. And before we even get into more about your wrestling knowledge and your love for wrestling, I have to say, man, I'm looking at your photos, brother. Man, you're fucking brilliant, man. So excuse my French, man, but you got some great eye, man. I don't know. How long you been doing photography?
Boy, how do I answer that? So, I don't think it's the amount of years I've had a camera and I've been snapping with it. I've been shooting in one way or another for about 15 years. I would say that probably the closest thing to photography that I picked up at an early stage was music videos. So I was directing just after uni, and I shot a lot of UK hip-hop underground videos. And I think that...
Like what?
Boy, okay, so...
Would I know?
If you guys have ever checked out a guy called Mr. Scaramanga...
Yes.
So I shot his first video, Fear, which was like...
How did that go?
I was like, Mr. Scaramanga.
So that's one of your videos?
It had the Fat Joe hook on it. Obviously Blind Alphabets is how I got to know Braids or Lamari Esquire now. So
did you shoot Blind Alphabets?
I shoot Blind Alphabets. I shot Gas Mask Apostles.
Okay, so I've seen your work, baby. Okay, so I know about you before I met you.
Yeah, basically, yeah. And it's funny how we're connected though on a lot of levels.
No,
so
I love it.
So yeah, but I never really picked up a camera as a proper professional hobby until I'd say about 2-3 years ago. And I think a lot of that came down to the fact that I'd naturally gravitate towards these kind of interesting subcultures and stories, and I'm not necessarily the type of person that wants to spend hours and hours sat in front of a computer editing a documentary and putting it out. With me, I'm very instant. I see something I want to capture. I want to put my flair on it. And the thing with photography, it allows me to do that because aside from the angles, it's like great photos when I snap them or when one snaps them is you really got to get to know your subject matter, and that's what I like to do. I'm very connected with the people that I shoot. So even all the photos that are on exhibition tonight, there's a story behind every single one of them and why it was curated in the way it was. It's in order to tell a story about the London School of Lucha Libre, and that's what I really wanted to tell here. So in a lot of ways, this exhibition is kind of like a stills documentary.
Okay, that's pretty dope. And there's an auction happening. People are already buying some photos already. That's part one. Part two is to come, and hopefully a bit more photos will be sold. You know, there's one photo that really caught my eye, man, and it's one with there's a wrestler. He's underwater.
Oh yeah.
How the hell did you do that?
Oh right. So like it's just like literally that kind of stuff goes back to my music video days. Like I think when I was a lot premature in my career, we never could warrant budgets in order to do these amazing things. I'd have these ideas, and there would never be financial backing for it. So in order to get a shot that I really wanted to capture, it would either come off really amateur because of the equipment that we had, or we never had the resources in order to pull off something like that. With photography, I'm able to think of things that are really out of the box, all it takes is just the willpower to make those happen. So the swimming pool thing. So this is literally how, and it's so reflective of the videos as well. It's just funny when I'm thinking about it. So I knew that one of the characters was called El Piranha. So that was his name. It was his name. It's actually El Piranha something something. Don't quote me wrong. But yeah, so essentially he's a lucha piranha, and the idea behind that was that this exhibition, I wanted to get into their lives and know what they really do. But the irony about it was that he's actually a swimming teacher.
That's crazy.
So El Piranha is a swimming teacher. So I was like, that's a no-brainer, bro. That's what we're going to shoot. We're going to shoot you swimming underwater with the mask on. That's going to be crazy. And it worked out.
It really caught my eye. It was a beautiful photo.
Thank you, man. Thank you. It came off really well. We had an hour and a half at 7:30 in the morning to shoot it because Kensington Leisure Centre, I got to big them up for helping us out. They let us come down, like the only spare spot. We took it, and we shot some great stuff. And that was my first stuff being shot underwater, so it was a real learning curve. I think
you had to go underwater yourself.
I had to go underwater, and I think even though this guy's a swimming teacher, he nearly drowned a couple of times. But we got the photo. That's what counts, right?
Anything for the art, right?
Yeah, anything for the art, man.
The question I'm going to ask you now. So the Kresh is the family business.
Yeah, so Kresh stands for Creative Raw Energy Seeking New Horizons.
And you do that with your brothers and your wife.
So so basically a lot of our projects are kind of they're self-funded at the moment, but generally it takes a team or a nation in order to create amazing stuff. So you look for inspiration to the closest people around you, and those would essentially be my wife and my brother.
That's amazing.
So
I love that.
And that's what it's all about. And we've always kind of functioned in that way. I think thinking that you need to go get the best in their field in order to create something is such a cop-out, because the beauty that comes from creating something from scratch and being able to nurture people from a very early stage and really just like tapping in what they love and collaborating, and that's when the real magic happens. So Kresh for us is just about it's just moving on with that. Like, it's that energy, that raw energy. When we see something, so right now it's very subculture related. It's when we see something that's raw and it maybe hasn't got the platform that it deserves. That's where we step in, and that's where we bring new horizons to the front, because that's what we're all about. We're about promoting not necessarily the ones that are already at the top, but creating a platform for those that deserve it.
I think the auction's going to start back. Do you want to head back down there?
We're going to have to cut it.
Yeah, man. Ibrahim, thank you so much for your time, man, and good luck with everything else.
And if you guys, anybody who didn't come here tonight, there's still a chance to purchase some of the prints. Go to kresh.co.uk/lucha prints with plural.
And before you go, how can they find you on the
social media? It's Kresh Online on Instagram, Kresh Online on Twitter. And then obviously you got the website, which is kresh.co.uk, and you can find all the social media links there.